I'm sure your mama starved in the past. That's why she came here, like all these other people have, to look for a better life. I can see the fucking shame in your fucked up face, puto. I see the shame in you. Go tell your mama how you proud of rallying people and taking them in. What crime did they make? What crime did they commit? Nothing. I'm sure you're proud, bitch.
So ICE is now in LA and they're rounding up immigrants, going to Home Depots, going to downtown stores and restaurants. And the crazy thing about this is, to me, there are literal terrorists, rapists, and murderers out free. But they are putting all of their resources to target innocent immigrants with zero criminal past, no criminal record whatsoever, and they have Homeland Security and the FBI backing them up. They're like, what? This is so insane to me, because before you say, oh, well, do it the right way, there are some that are trying to do it the right way, and they are now getting messages by ICE that are trapping them that they need to show up. Mind you, these are people in the immigration process doing it the right way, and they're getting messages right now to show up for a routine check-in, and guess what? They're being rounded up and detained. And the craziest part to me is, and I really need you guys to just like lock in right now, this is never about protecting or making America more safe. No, this is all about for profit, because 90% of the ICE detainees are put in for profit centers.
I hate it when people say, you're a US citizen, so why do you care about what's going on? I'm sorry that I don't think children should be zip-tied at court, or that children with cancer should be deported. Sorry that I think that parents should be able to come home to their children without ICE snatching them up at their job. Sorry that I don't want to see families being separated, because I see these individuals as human beings past their immigration status. Sorry for having a heart and being an empath.
National Guard is in Los Angeles, which means the National Guard, which was federalized because the federal government went over the state, went over the senator, deployed 2,000 National Guard members into Los Angeles, which means that we invoked, without invoking the Insurrection Act, which then would mean that we're yay close or at martial law, which would then mean that if they do what they're trying to do, which is send in the Marines, that we would be attacking our own people for protesting, which is a right, which would then mean that we are yay close or at civil war. I think this is the time, if no other time, to remember what was said when this election happened to these guardsmen, to the National Guard, to these soldiers. Remember your oath. Your oath is to the people. Your oath is to the people. And you have a right to go against orders if those orders are not right. I don't know if anyone else was paying attention during school, during class, during history, during anything at all, but this is bad. This is like worst case scenario.
So unfortunately, it seems like it's actually going to get worse in Los Angeles in regards to the ICE raids occurring right now. Because today at 5 p.m., Gavin Newsom mentioned that the federal government is moving to take over the California National Guard and deploy 2,000 soldiers to the streets. This is really only going to escalate things a lot.
I just came back from the protests in downtown LA, and I've been seeing some videos of people saying that they were disappointed with how people acted. And as someone that attended, I want to give my opinion. The protest was pretty peaceful and powerful. I don't understand why there is so much focus on the bad apples, because there will always be bad apples. There's some misinformation that people were burning flags. There was no flags that were being burned. And
riots have hit the streets of Los Angeles once again. This time it's to do with deportation, illegal immigrants, you name it. things are not going well in Los Angeles. Now, as you have seen in the videos, there has been a big standoff between the Latino communities and the National Guard. Now, a few days ago, there was some comings together between the local police department, throwing tear gas and things like that at the citizens. It escalated to where Trump, I believe, gave the order to send around 2,000 National Guard men to the streets of Los Angeles. Now, these men are armed. They're armed with tear gas, weapons, you name it, dogs, everything. And they have basically set upon the streets of Los Angeles, in their words, to try and calm things down. But a lot of people have already came out and said this is not the way you calm things down. You cannot send a military force on the streets and expect things to de-escalate. Now, there is a lot of tensions already, especially with ICE, who keeps on deporting a lot of Latinos, and even Latinos who are there in the US legally, are there halfway through doing their papers, going through the correct channels, things like that. They are being ripped away from their families, ripped away from their jobs. They can be in a job working and ICE will come, they will take them, deport them. So there's a lot of tension right now, and there's a lot of anger. Even on both sides, there seems to be a lot of anger, and it has resulted in riots in Los Angeles. Now, Los Angeles seems to be, if there seems to be a place for riots, Los Angeles, it seems to be that place. Even going back to the 1940s, there were riots. In the 1990s, I believe there was the big riots. And once again, there are riots. And again, they have sent around 2,000 National Guards there to fight basically against their own people. This is not a good situation for anyone to be in. As you can see from videos, there's a lot of people very angry. There's going to be a lot of damage done on both sides. There's going to be a lot of people that are going to be affected and very hurt by this. It is not a good situation in any way. But I also don't believe that sending the National Guard in certain situations is the best idea. I think that these situations could have been avoided by implementing more policies that were kinder to both sides. You know, it really could have been avoided. But like I say, this administration, they just seem to strong-arm everything with total disregard for how people are going to be affected. And like I say, one of these policies, people have been very affected, even the ones who are in the US legally. They've been massively affected by this, and this anger, this confusion, frustration, all these things have just boiled over, and it culminated in what we are seeing today, what we saw yesterday, these big riots. So it's not good. Hopefully both sides can come to some sort of agreement. They can work things out where both sides can be happy, where both sides can be more understanding. But yeah, riots in LA, so everyone involved has to be careful. It's a crazy world we live in. Anyway, this has been Reaction Call. I'll see you next time. Peace.